I'll tell you what, you guys all see these toes.
They're beautiful, aren't they?
There I was, back in the wild again. And I felt right at home, where I belong. I had that feeling coming over me again. Just like it happened so many times before. Hey, Maddie!
This is mine and Maddie's season 1 for Field to Feast Outdoors. I, years ago, had come up with the idea of doing a show called Field to Feast Outdoors. So I wanted it to revolve around education, teaching people foremost about the hunting, but also about how to prepare the animal after you harvested it, because you harvest the animal and then the work begins. Properly field dressing it, properly cleaning it, properly skinning, cutting it, and then how to prepare it in the kitchen. Then Maddie started hunting, and we was on Hit Squad Outdoors for 3 years. So things had happened, so we decided to go out on our own and get this off the ground. We got some of Maddie's old episodes, her very first harvest, that we started with a little Sony Handycam.
I see one.
Way out there. Yeah.
Down South Indiana, what?
Are you deer hunting?
I'm deer hunting, and I'm gonna shoot a buck, right, Daddy?
Yeah, we're gonna shoot a buck.
And
With your brand new crossbow.
and with my brand new crossbow,
Yep.
we sing a buck.
Right, there's a buck out here. Now we're gonna try to shoot it, aren't we?
Shoot it.
Okay, so let's wait on it to get close to us, alright? Alright.
It's already close.
No, not yet. Yeah, there's 2. Don't move. Is it getting tired for you? Is it getting too heavy? Huh? Hang on. Shoot, they're looking right at us now. You gotta wait till they turn sideways. Okay? Hang on, hang on. Can you see him in your scope? Can you scope? Can you see him?
I can see that one.
Okay, okay. Do you want to shoot this time?
Yes.
Okay, put your top line right behind his front shoulder. Okay? Whenever you're...
Scared.
Huh?
I'm scared.
What are you scared for?
If he comes in the woods, are we gonna look for him in the woods? Daddy.
Yes, we're gonna go look for him. But hang on, he's facing us now. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on.
I can't see him.
Hang on. Hang on. We got deer all around.
Back there.
Yeah.
Daddy, look back there.
Don't move. I know, don't move, don't move. You just scared him off. She had just turned 5. And this was, she turns 5, or her birthday's in September. So she had just turned 5 years old in September. And I had been all summer basically hunting this one buck that I knew I was going to try to harvest. So I had tons of trail cameras out, been watching him all summer, watched him grow since he was this tall out of his head. And October 1st comes around. So wind was perfect. It was ready, and it time to go. So I go out that evening and get all set up, get relaxed a couple hours before I thought he was going to come out. And like I said, this was October 1st. So I got all hunting season to be able to harvest this animal. Well, it was about an hour before I thought he was going to come out. I see some movement to my right, and all of a sudden here's this rack sticking around the side of a cedar tree. And I had seen that it was a split G2, but I thought, oh, that's got to be the younger, smaller one, because the big one hadn't come out yet, at least on trail cameras. Next thing I know, he steps out, and sure enough, it was the big one that I wanted to harvest that year. And he come out hour before. I was not ready. I had just put my phone in the bag, just got done eating a bite of my candy bar, and sure enough, he steps out, gets 14 yards, and I center punch him. Double lungs. And that is this buck right here. So this buck here was the very last deer that I harvested without you. So October 1st, I'm done. Indiana, 1 buck state. So I come home. I look at the wife and I said, man, it's kind of bittersweet. I said, killed the buck I was after, but it only took me about 2 hours. Hunting season's done. My wife looked at me and said, what do you mean it's done? It's just begun. I said, what do you mean? She goes, you've been practicing with Maddie for 2 years. She goes, it's her time now. So I'm thinking, great. So I go get Dad's old crossbow and old Dick's Sporting Goods Barnett, weighed about 20 pounds. So I get it, bring it home, set it up in a tripod shooting bench, and I told Maddie, I said, here, I said at 20 yards, I want you to bust this balloon. And sure enough, she bust the balloon, and I told Corey, I said, we're going. So we take off, we go hunt all bow season. Maddie just could not get him close enough. I wanted to just take a 20-yard shot. We'd have him in at 27, 31, and I just wasn't comfortable her taking that shot because I knew if she wounded one on her very first try, it was just going to devastate her.
We're gonna try.
Dad, can I shoot him right now?
He's too far.
Dad, I can use the bottom line. Never mind. Never mind. Think I've got a big one.
He's looking right at us. No, they're too far.
It was gun season, which everybody knows that I don't hunt gun season because of work. We process deer for a living, and I just can't, take time off. Well, we got caught up. Last weekend, Maddie, I had ended up buying her a 357 handy rifle, H&R handy rifle. And the stock is way too long for the trigger pull for her to be able to reach around and squeeze. So Mike up there at Crack Shotguns in Anderson, he told me, he said, oh, he goes, perfect. He goes, I could put an AR stock on it. So we put an AR stock on it, and it collapsed down to 7.5 inches, and it was perfect for her. So before we took her out, she had been practicing, and I didn't want to put 357 shells in it because a little bit of the kick, but the noise. So I was putting 38s, and she was practicing and doing good, and hitting a baseball at 50 yards. So we ended up going out the very last evening of gun season for Indiana, and we get up in what we call the shooting shed. So here comes some deer come out. Had a couple bucks that we was after come out, and they was out there 120, 130 yards, and I just wasn't comfortable her shooting that far. So right before dark, It had about 15 minutes of light left. Here come 2 does and a little button buck, which it was a mom and 2 fawns, a button buck and a doe. So the fawn doe was in the lead, so I told her, I said, it was barely quartering to us. And I said, we've got to do this. We cannot wait for this doe to turn 100% broadside. So we had always practiced right behind the leg, halfway up the body. That's where she aims. So what ended up happening, Maddie, when I told you to shoot?
I told you, I thought we're supposed to shoot behind the shoulder, and you said, no, right into the shoulder. And we just started arguing.
Yeah, we argued because I told her, I said, you just shoot it right straight up that leg, right in the shoulder.
We're hunting does. Stop. Wait.
Can you shoot it right in the shoulder? Shoot it right in the shoulder.
Not behind the shoulder.
No, right in it. Right in the shoulder. Okay. Can you see it? Shoot it right in the shoulder, right above the leg. Right above the leg.
If I don't try again.
Don't worry, just go ahead. Do it, you'll be alright. Right above the leg, halfway up the body.
Dad, can I start shooting?
Whenever you're ready.
Dad! Gotcha! He fell. Cool. Got him. What is he doing?
Well, he's kicking. Because you killed him.
Stop kicking.
Good shot. She flattened that doe. It was 87 yards. Her very first deer shot with a .357 handy rifle.
I know where it is.
Good job. That was a good shot, Maddie. What is that, a doe?
Yeah.
Go up to it. Put your gun on it. Lay your gun down. All right, now hold its head up. Let's see that thing. Let's see it. All right.
Hey, Joey. You're coming with us. Hey, that thingy. Hello.
There I was, back in the wild again. And I felt right at home, where I belong. I had that feeling coming over me again.